MayFi.com. This is Jonas Reports for the 14th. No idea what happened with yesterday's video. On YouTube, it just kept saying pending, and it was like never processed. Wasn't that we didn't load one, but the discussion was still the same. You've got a market that is preparing for inflation at epic scale. And as long as it does that, it's got to make up for the fact that you're going to be paying a lot more and the dollar is getting devalued. Market doesn't take a haircut. That's effective as long as you have growth continuation. So as long as the growth issue isn't in question, and when you look at it from the energy side of things, they're making an absolute fortune selling all their energy at premium prices. So that is definitely, from a tax-based standpoint, looks effective and nice. You just pay for it later. And without a resolution. And now it's clear that you can see the shift in regime situation, because before they were talking about, some settlement things, and then all of a sudden revert back to, no, we're closing everything, and hostility. So they're really stuck now because this production issue on their wells is real. And whether they're just going to dump oil into the, Strait of Hormuz or whatever, who knows? But yeah, it's a real issue for them on as far as that goes. And then who's actually in charge, nobody knows. And so much for quick and easy, and they're decimated, because decimated people are not demanding reparations and payments and then telling you that the very cause that you asked for, which was removing nuclear fuel, they're not doing. So did you win anything in that? No, I don't think so. And I think any honest assessment of it says that, from that standpoint, fine, they're weakened, but their organization was not designed to be, super top heavy. So any and all of these factions can continue to cause havoc, and they're doing it. From a reading standpoint, you still no changes from there. So all that said, you just look at these readings, and from our standpoint, magenta over the 33 level, above yellow, it's still a full buy. Cyan under red on the DOC right here, always a buy. The fact that you had a little brief dip down below the negative 13 means that, oh yeah, you got a fresh pattern on the way back up. Pretty straightforward. Now, do we have all these positive extremes going all the way back to, like here on the NASDAQ down to the 27.5 rate? Yes. Will they get filled? Yes. Is this the right moment for that? No. Pretty much sums it up, and that is your, your death situation right here is, over 100 a barrel. Enough said, but it's not that it's over the 100 a barrel. You could have sustained that when you had the brief, when there was the talk of almost peace and things started coming down pretty quick. But as soon as that was realized that failed, yeah. Now we've gone months, and there is no coming back from that. It's an entirely separate issue from the fertilizers, food, plastics, you name it, and the supply constraint that's going to exist with all of those issues. So yeah, not good. If you had to call it a mistake so far, you would have to say it's in the mistake category. It's not working out as expected. Now, unless your idea is to disrupt global trade and basically go after your allies without actually going after your allies, then in this case, it's pretty effective at destroying the EU in a broad stroke. You're not really hurting Russia. China's not all that impacted already. They were having issues. So, yeah, your big loser is the EU in general. That the euro is still at this value is insane, but that's separate from central bank involvement, and we just have to follow the chart with it. Gold will have its moment. It's already, this devaluation indication already was suggesting that the dollar had plummeted significantly, but it's still in high demand. So you're going to have to wait for that shift where people are like wanting to flee the dollar before the gold is going to continue another move to the upside. Or you get a situation like we had before where people were demanding the physical material. And that's where the paper market collapses, because same thing with silver. Once the people started demanding delivery, and then they put in all sorts of controls to stop that, and that's where they were able to regain control over it on the paper side, and that keeps it muted, because it's important for them to not let gold get out of control, because it is a clear indication that your currency is under major devaluation. It's the same issue that you look at here with Bitcoin, though it hasn't really popped from it. It should. So that's the whole point of having futures markets. Then you can keep these things under control somewhat if you have enough resources to do so. From a 50K standpoint, you can see we had the little brief dip there, and then it was just all up and up, nonstop throughout the rest of the time. And this was mostly from the early point here, the turnaround flip, blue above magenta, blue above gold, gray, magenta above yellow, and that started the whole up move, and it didn't end because you also had DOC sign under red, and it's always buy. Always buy. This is what it looked like intraday, seeing the brief weakness, and then it was just up, up, and away. And here we are, still continuing that in the post market. So that's the long and short of it. All good. Anyway, have a great day. Trade well.